Keymaster Games and 59 Parks print series have partnered together to bring you Parks. Parks features artwork from more than 35 artists in celebration of our national parks. It's a game about exploration and about experience. From the depths of the Grand Canyon to the heights of Mount Rainier, Parks will take you on a journey from the Great Sand Dunes to the islands to visit American Samoa. Take on the role of two hikers as they trek across trails over the course of 4 seasons of a year. Collecting memories along the way, you'll be able to improve equipment and visit national parks. The canteens and gear you collect will ease the way, but remember, it's not about how fast you get to your destination, it's about the journey. Welcome to Parks.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude. Donate now at stjude.org.
Keymaster Games and 59 Parks print series have partnered together to bring you Parks. Parks features artwork from more than 35 artists in celebration of our national parks. It's a game about exploration and about experience. From the depths of the Grand Canyon to the heights of Mount Rainier, Parks will take you on a journey from the Great Sand Dunes to the islands to visit American Samoa. Take on the role of two hikers as they trek across trails over the course of 4 seasons of a year. Collecting memories along the way, you'll be able to improve equipment and visit national parks. The canteens and gear you collect will ease the way, but remember, it's not about how fast you get to your destination, it's about the journey. Welcome to Parks.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude. Donate now at stjude.org.
Keymaster Games and 59 Parks print series have partnered together to bring you Parks. Parks features artwork from more than 35 artists in celebration of our national parks. It's a game about exploration and about experience. From the depths of the Grand Canyon to the heights of Mount Rainier, Parks will take you on a journey from the Great Sand Dunes to the islands to visit American Samoa. Take on the role of two hikers as they trek across trails over the course of 4 seasons of a year. Collecting memories along the way, you'll be able to improve equipment and visit national parks. The canteens and gear you collect will ease the way. But remember, it's not about how fast you get to your destination, it's about the journey. Welcome to Parks.
Every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you,
Gracias a ti.
Because of you,
There is St. Jude. Donate now at stjude.org.
Keymaster Games and 59 Parks print series have partnered together to bring you Parks. Parks features artwork from more than 35 artists in celebration of our national parks. It's a game about exploration and about experience. From the depths of the Grand Canyon to the heights of Mount Rainier, Parks will take you on a journey from the Great Sand Dunes to the islands to visit American Samoa. Take on the role of two hikers as they trek across trails over the course of 4 seasons of a year. Collecting memories along the way, you'll be able to improve equipment and visit national parks. The canteens and gear you collect will ease the way. But remember, it's not about how fast you get to your destination, it's about the journey. Welcome to Parks.
every single one of his medical bills, everything is just all taken care of.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you,
Gracias a ti.
Because of you,
There is St. Jude. Donate now at stjude.org.
Hello everybody, welcome to Role Play Give. We are a virtual tabletop gaming community. Tonight we are playing Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep. We are in the Egypt chapter, and I would say neck deep into it, which is maybe perhaps a foreboding way of putting that. The party is split. And I think that's become sort of the norm, and it works pretty well. And so currently, 2 of our party members, although we are down a player tonight, so we will be doing a little bit of puppetry and a little bit of, he's going to be doing different things during the time that we're doing this. We like to say he's pooping, but in this case he's going to be book learning. So 2 of our party members made their way over to the Mosque of Ibn Tulin, which is here on the map, where they were told this was a sanctuary place, and they did feel, this was Clyde and Harmon, that the place did have sort of a protective spirit to it. There they met.
Still in the bazaar map, so if you're referencing things on the other map.
You are, and I'm showing this on the stream, so let's move you guys over to Egypt and Cairo.
Thank you.
Cool. Which makes sense because you're not actually in the Muskie Bazaar anyway. So we probably should move you off that map. Um, but they are over at Ibn Tulin, which is down here. They had met. Purdy and Harmon had met with Dr. Kafur earlier that day, and he had suggested they meet in another location because they were both being watched, and that the safest place they felt they could go to was this Ibn Tulin. So that is where currently Clyde is. Clyde and Harmon made that trip. Purdy and Daisy were supposed to rendezvous with them, but had a uh, made a split decision in the car to, instead of join the rest of their group there, that they were worried about a pretty much drunken sot archaeologist named Wilhelm van Heuven, uh, who seems to attract cats, uh, and was going a little batty from the cats. A little catty from the cats. And when they found him in his apartment was nearly overrun with cats. There were cats on the fire escape. There were, well, not really apartment, but his bedsit. There were cats in the hallway. He had been basically overrun, and he himself was standing on the bed, jumping away from the cats. Um, they managed to talk him into giving him scrolls that he had discovered from a shrine, a recently discovered shrine to the cat goddess Bast, um, and they had to, um, almost childlike style, explain to him that he had scrolls from a cat goddess, and now cats were following him around, and those things were probably related. Uh, he gave them most of the scrolls for their safekeeping, almost as a test, to see what would happen. He kept a few for himself to translate, and as the two of them went back to they didn't go back to their hotel because you're no longer at Shepherd's. You guys have gone to your secondary hotel. Um, and as you went to the bar there, cats have started um, congregating, I guess, around you. I believe you only have 3 on you right now. But a young woman, can't be much more than 22, uh, elegantly dressed in the fashions of the time, sits down and says to Purdy, "I believe you have something of mine." That's where we left them. So, where we pick up in Ibn Tulin is an agreement has been made that Harmon will begin learning with Dr. Kafur. It will take him about 2 weeks to pick up a spell. The spell that they've agreed to work on together is called Flesh Ward. It's a really disgusting sounding spell, but Dr. Kafur explains that what it does is create a field of energy around the body that allows physical, or that absorbs the damage, the, the threats of physical weapons against a person, allowing them to take more damage. Um, and so there are spell components that are required, etc., and all of this has to be practiced and learned. And Harmon has agreed to be the one to learn it. Dr. Kafur feels if you're all going to fight these awful things, that you need some more arrows in your quiver. Then, after that is determined, he says, now we should probably speak no more. We cannot learn these spells here. This is a holy place. But did he bring up Al-Dahabi?
The man who has, what was it, a girdle?
He has the
No.
girdle, yep. And that
Yes.
he had hoped that, they protect it here. He is trying to get a meeting for you with him, but Eldabi has refused. Does that sound right? Um,
Other than he will meet with no one, is what I remember
right.
being said.
Right. Okay. That is that is true. He still refuses to meet with anyone, but it is Dr. Kafur's hope that he can connect the two of you, because he is worried that although this is one of the safest places in Cairo, it will not hold long. And if they get their hands on the girdle, they will be able to complete some secret rites, and potentially resurrect Queen Nitocris. Is that right? Did I get it all?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, he is going to take Harmon with him back to the Cairo Museum in his car, leaving you with your car hire, Clyde, to do as you choose after this meeting. You could stick around Ibn Tulin. You could go looking for Mahmoud. You could go back to the hotel. You could. Uh,
I mean, it sounds very tempting to go hunting for the kid. That pesky little guy,
yeah.
It's late. He's probably staring down some candy shop that's closing down at this point. And it'd probably be stupid of me to go out after I just strangled somebody in the same day.
Well,
Uh,
yes. That did
I guess
happen earlier in the day.
it sure did. I will ask Dr. Kafur. So, do you plan on having him learn his spell at your place, or where, really? Would you like someone to, look out?
Where I am taking him, there will be some risk. Obviously, we're going back to the museum, but I have a private storeroom that I have warded for working on spells, and where I keep items I believe to be of interest in the work of keeping the Black Pharaoh in the past. And so we perhaps it would not be safe for you to be in there. There's no reason to risk both of you working with these arcane magics. But it wouldn't necessarily be awful if you perhaps over the course of the week where we'll be studying, I mean, he will come home, maybe escort him back and forth.
I mean,
Keep
you
an
did
eye on the
mention
building.
you have mentioned you are being followed home yourself.
Yes. Right. If you wanted to become sort of a security detail, that would be welcome, but I don't think it would be wise for you to be necessarily in the room where it happened.
Well, why would I be in there? That's not my duty. My duty is to keep them out of the room.
That makes sense. I agree.
And on that topic, as they've said, we've encountered them before now. We've seen two of them. They typically dress in their black garb, it seems like, and have that pointy mace, whatever it may be. And I believe it was a tattoo that they had that helps symbolize their membership to the Brotherhood.
Yes, an inverted ankh.
Is there any other tells, signs, anything I should be looking out for in terms for their, well, organization?
It's interesting, as most of my colleagues consider the Black Brotherhood to be a distant memory. I was, until speaking with you, I had heard, you know, the folk on the street who still do wardings against the evil eye and believe they had seen Black Brotherhood, but no proof, nothing. And then the attack, as it has come to be understood by me, of Faraz Najjar's antiquity shop. This is when I first began to understand that these sort of rumors of them returning on the street were more than just fanciful tales. And then you arrive soon after. It leads me to believe these things are not a coincidence.
Are you implying that they were responsible for the his antiquity shop being burned down? I mean,
I believe they were. I believe they were now.
it wouldn't be too far-fetched. Granted, he wasn't very pleased to see me as is when I questioned him on it.
Well, I think
Granted, I was very blunt.
he was a man who sort of skirted the law to begin with. We've had run-ins with the Cairo Museum and his business for years. He seems to have found Allah. It's and
Indeed, he has.
a person who has that sort of personality change, who maintains it was no ordinary fire, who just clearly has been traumatized at an order that I've not seen before. I begin to believe there are magics at work on the streets of Cairo again. Magic's not my own.
Well, with what I have seen, and what my other friends have seen, and what you are claiming yourself, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to believe that. Would I recognize a spellcaster? Because I fought one, like, a month ago.
In New York?
In New York, because he was trying to cast a spell every time on me. Would I
Yeah.
recognize that as spellcasting?
I
mean-
think as you guys talk about that sort of stuff, chanting, there's some components going on. You feel this crackle of unseen energy in the air.
My chest started to really hurt really badly for some reason.
Oh, and then the power check, you shrugged it off. You would. I think you'd be able to put the 2 and 2 together there, no trouble.
Well, if what he says it was an unnatural fire, perhaps if it is Brotherhood relating to it, maybe they have spellcasters of their own who can manipulate the elements of fire to bend to their will.
Or they summon things that do that sort of thing. There are many creatures beyond Earth's creatures that can be brought here.
Well, we've seen a few.
Indeed. Which ones? What have you seen?
Oh boy, you ever heard of a fat-sucking vampire? They're probably termed as Karasiri.
I read a book by your friend Jackson Elias that spoke of the mythology of those. My understanding is, though, those were people who had been transformed into that based upon their mucking about with eldritch forces beyond their comprehension.
Well, that's what I understood with the whole larva maggots things. I mean, and then he'll unbutton his shirt and see nasty creatures. It's not a pretty. It's not a pretty scar at all. Next to that's like that stab wound he got last month. Still not doing great, but he's fine.
He's fine. uh, it's, oh, I have only read about, well, and I have seen through art and descriptions and grimoires I have read of some of these unnatural creatures. You don't happen to be one now, do you? No, he doesn't say that.
You know, I believe my other friend had some theories on that fact, how he's never seen me beyond dark or some reason.
It's dark right now and I can see you.
But we're in a holy place, so maybe it's counteracting the forces of evil. I'm just fucking with you. I'm fine.
Oh, I mean, he's just
Am I?
going back to his mind going, I thought I've seen you at night, but he hasn't actually. He's only seen you in the afternoon. So, until just now. He looks over at Harmon and Harmon shrugs. We still question it. He could turn into a fat sucking vampire any day. It's only been 5 years. We don't know.
It's a 6-year incubation period.
For a long time. Yeah.
It's a very long incubation. Yeah. So maybe he waits until you actually die, and then you will come back as a fat sucking vampire.
You know, now that you mention, I'm not gonna keep going on this tangent, but it's like now that you mention, there was the corpse of a dead girl in a shed.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did she rise up and attack you?
No, we set her afire.
That's right. Well, there was no automobile available, so you had to resort to fire. Okay. So at this point, he's going to conclude the meeting with you guys, unless there's anything else you want to talk about with him. But he will stop at that desk where he talked to sort of the reception secretary and put in a request again to meet with Al-Dahabi, and he will tell him that it is a matter of great import. And he will leave. You will see he leaves someone has seen this, and he'll put the inverted ankh on it. And then he seals the envelope and hands it off to the person. Could you ask that it be delivered? Taking a great risk putting that on paper. But Al-Dahabi will know what to do with it. So, you guys drive back. Are you gonna stick with them? Like, you'll stick with Harmon, drive over there, and you're gonna, like, they're not gonna work tonight, so I guess you and Harmon will probably just go back to the hotel. We're gonna have to puppet Harmon for a while, because it just doesn't make sense for him to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go crash at your house now. It's been watched and been followed. Yeah, it was great. So okay, goes with you to the hotel. In the meantime, you are in the bar, Purdy and Daisy, with a young woman, black hair, about 22 years old, elegantly and richly dressed. Last thing we said was, I believe you have something that's mine.
I'm sorry, miss. I didn't quite catch your name.
You can call me Neris.
Neris.
And you are?
I am
Colt McJunkin.
Colt McJunkin. A respectable American here in your fine city, and this is my good friend here. We were just having some dinner. Did you need some dinner? Are you hungry?
Yes, I will have dinner. And she sort of like pulls her hair back behind her ear and looks down, and all of the cats disappear. They don't disappear; they run off. Sorry, in a game like this, I can't use like metaphorical language. They run off.
just to clarify, were there cats? Because I thought the cats looked me up and down and then left.
Oh,
And we didn't see a cat until she walked in.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, there was a
I
cat.
could be
Yeah,
misremembering.
I think when she came in there were cats. But if not, then I
I
will
missed
retcon that
Okay.
to say that
There are cats.
yeah.
No big deal.
And now
Uh,
and now they're not. So I'll retcon that they showed up and then
Yeah,
say
no, perfect.
and then they leave and then they leave
It makes
they leave.
less of a stretch of why,
Right.
That's a handy trick. I know I have a friend who might need to learn how to do that.
To do what?
He's having a cat problem recently.
I wonder if it's because he had something that didn't belong to him. That in fact belonged to me.
Is it like a ball of yarn?
Yeah, she'll laugh.
No offense,
She'll
but
totally laugh.
it's a little weird. Like if someone takes something from me, I'm just saying this is how we respectable Americans do things. If someone takes something from you, you don't send cats after them.
What does
So-
an American do if somebody
Well,
takes?
let me like. We have hours to talk about that, but let me just point out that if that was the message you were sending to the poor man, it took the two of us to convince him that that was the message you were sending, because he had no clue why there were cats there. So just diversify your messaging. Maybe the cats could lay on the ground and spell something out.
I am certain that Mr. Van Hooven knew what he'd
That's his name. That's his friend.
Yeah.
Hoyland.
Hoyland, yeah.
So I assume you want those documents that he had.
Yes, I would like them very much.
So you must know that I don't actually have them all.
When do you think you will have them all? Can you get them?
Probably. I mean, we'd have to convince him, but you have to tell us a little bit more. I totally believe you that these are yours. But he said there's some weird stuff in here, and we just happen to be in the business of trying to keep our heads down around weird stuff. And so, how do we know that you're not going to do even weirder stuff with this weird stuff?
I very much appreciate the way you describe these. She looks around in the public place and just decides these documents, to use your term, as weird stuff.
I mean, I don't get it, but I don't get
It
most of the world.
is certainly very weird stuff. It's not for this world as this world is now. They belong hidden where they were.
I think, Colt, that was what we wanted in the first place, right? To get them back, put them back. We agreed to meet tomorrow with Van Huelen to return them to where he found them.
Would that satisfy you if we convinced him to bring them back where he got them? Or do you want them yourself?
They have to be returned by tomorrow.
I see.
And
by tomorrow,
there
like
may
what
not
happens
be any copies.
Oh. Now that part might be a little tricky to convince him of.
But we'll figure it. Like, so we are really like on your side here, as my friend said.
Mm-hmm.
So if we help you, what do we get out of it?
Oh, maybe, the satisfaction of doing good in our lives are, good enough. Colt?
But
these are the black rights, right? Remember, these are things that I agree should be hidden, not for this world, all of the above. Okay, how about this? What if we're able to make some changes to the scrolls he copied so that they're no longer accurate? Is that would that be acceptable?
She's the smart one. I'd just rip them up.
We want him to think he has them, so he'll turn over what he has. But maybe we can make some alterations.
Both of those solutions, either destroying them, which you will find difficult if he's completed the spells.
Oh, Colt. He was exhausted. He fell asleep. Maybe we just go over there and, help ourselves to what he has.
Can you turn us into cats and we
Oh,
run back?
no.
She smiles so hard, and she says, "Not you. I can't turn you into cats."
I think she means Clyde. She's gonna turn Clyde.
He has warded his place against me. I cannot go in there as I am now. As things remain, I would prefer. I almost want to do her as like Eartha Kitt Catwoman, but but I don't think I prefer to leave him alive.
And I
would really prefer to leave him alive. That's a wonderful solution.
Bast does not seek the death of fools. She seeks their removal from things that can harm them. This fool is blinded by his own arrogance and ambition. He is mucking about with things he doesn't understand. The ward he has cast against me, well above his ability.
Do you? Our brief trip to your lovely city has sort of pointed out that we don't think he's the only one who might be mucking about with things he shouldn't be mucking about with. You don't have any comment on that, maybe? In the same general weird documents category?
She smiles. Bast was not the only one who had worshippers who wrote down things in their service to their gods. That is outside of my purview.
So like...
I didn't mean it, but as soon as I got to the word, I'm like, I gotta do it.
So like, Black Pharaoh stuff, nothing, nothing that...
I'm familiar with the Black Pharaoh and the stories of the Black Pharaoh.
Queen Nitocris, maybe?
Queen Nitocris is dead and must remain so.
So, funny you should say that. That people mucking around with things that might not be.
I'll tell you what, you've asked what you get out of help from me. Perhaps I can... You return the actual scrolls to me, all of them. You destroy or make useless his copies, and I will make an intercession to Bast on your behalf. Perhaps there is a boon we can obtain for you.
But just so we understand, that if something really bad's happening here in town, Bast generally wants someone to cut that out too. Like, we'd be on your side throughout this. We're not going to suddenly become enemies or...
But our gods... How do I put this? There's a hierarchy of power. None of the gods are beholden to any of the other gods, but some gods could crush other gods with the blink of an eye. If the Black Pharaoh returns, Bast would be near powerless to defend this city from his wrath. But
I get what you're saying.
Potentially help you in small ways.
I don't. I think we are worried about something, which we won't say here. But
Okay.
me and my colleague, we shared the concern that the man studying your documents was probably not the healthiest thing for him in the long run. And so we were able to get most of them out of his hands, but we will work on getting the rest. And if we bring them back to the place that he got them from, that's okay in your book?
Well, it almost sounds like we can just give them right to her, and that
Well,
kind of...
We can't give them to you?
No, I want to see them, but I cannot return them.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it very clearly. I apologize. I have limits to what places I can go. They were found by this Clive expedition. Van Hoylen found them as part of the Clive's expedition's delvings into the Pyramid of Mycerinus. There are wards there that keep me out. But bring them to me and I will help you return them. Have you been to the Pyramid of Mycerinus?
That's the one we went to?
Yeah. Yeah, the very spooky one with the tunnels underneath it.
Yeah, much bigger on the inside than you would expect looking from the outside.
Yes.
Tunnels that breathe are a bit,
I was surprised. I saw all sorts of people with animal heads, but none with cat heads.
Nor will you. But, that breathing is what keeps me out.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you know how... You said that's a ward. Is there a way to stop that, to break that ward, or would that be a bad thing? Would that let everything in?
I pains me to admit I don't have knowledge of how to stop those
That's
things.
not Bast Temple, right? That's someone else's.
It's not. There was the Bast Temple was actually a separate corridor off, so you don't have to go into the crazy ass tunnels again. But Van Hoylen found it while they were looking for the other, and when the mummy disappeared, he was nowhere to be found because he was in this secret Bast tunnel or shrine that actually has nothing to do with everything else underneath it. Doesn't look this well. You wouldn't know this. I shouldn't be telling you all this, but she can tell you. She can tell you all of it. And so it has not. She doesn't know anything really about the tunnels below. She just knows there's a deep evil down there, and that the breathing keeps her away.
So, I think my colleague and I are in agreement that we'll help you. I only want to ask one more favor from you, sort of in the future, if that's possible. Since we're such respectable Americans and we're helping you out.
You're an American?
I'm not American.
She sounds English to me.
We're such... wasn't anything. Since we're such respectable, people speak English.
Uh-huh.
So, in our shenanigans around town, sometimes we've had a little bit of trouble finding things. But it seems like your cats might be pretty good at finding things that we can't. Is there any chance that maybe later we can call upon you politely, and maybe if we're looking for something, we can ask for your help?
I like you, Colt McJunkin. Yes, you can ask. No guarantees that I will.
I appreciate it. No, of course. But we don't have many allies, and I feel like you're the closest thing to someone who's sort of on the same side of the page as we are at this point.
Aid that I can give, I will give. I have other responsibilities that must be attended to. But
Good question. I'm
yeah,
just
please.
really curious. There was Van Hoylen was saying there were like 3 ritual spells on the scrolls. One was to bind a cat. What does that even mean?
Bind
Oh, yeah.
to bind a cat
Bind cat. Yes.
is to force the cat into the service of the spellcaster.
Oh.
And Bass is probably not like keen on that one. Or is I guess
There are times
needs-
the way the cat is bound, the cat does not necessarily suffer. The cat already understands Bast's will. It allows the cat. She's like, it's not, it's not great, no, but Bast, like the thing being like the way we would understand it would be not great, but Bast is the god of cats, so basically it's saying that this human has the ability to use Bast's will to the cat's like gonna it's the voice of the god, like the person's using the voice of their god, so she's not gonna find it problematic, we're all gonna find it problematic, but
Yeah.
this high priest of Bast is not going to find this to be a problem. It is, yeah. One of those icky. Yes, it's gross.
I just was
Summon
curious. I
the
didn't.
summon lets them bring a cat from anywhere. So they can summon a cat from anywhere and then bind it to their will. It's sort of, well, yeah. She doesn't know any more than that. Sorry, I was gonna give you guys a hint there, and I'm like, but she wouldn't know that, so never mind. So yes.
What's the easiest way to get a hold of you if we need to? Put a bowl of milk out, or like
uh,
for the cats, not for you. That would be ridiculous. I figure the cats are watching us at all times, though. At this point,
less ridiculous than you might think. And she says, as it turns out, I happen to be staying in this hotel.
oh,
So, and I can't remember which one she's in because she can be in wherever I want to place her. So,
they have delicious sardines.
I know. No, they don't. We have to order
They don't.
them in.
They had to run
They
down
had to
the
run them
street
down
to
to get them. Yeah.
They'll get you delicious sardines.
That's right. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the hotel you guys are staying at. Doesn't necessarily matter. But yeah, so she will. Now I'm all like, where is it? I want to know, even though it doesn't
relevant, probably.
It's the other one, remember?
Yeah, it's the other one.
The one without the long bar.
Semiramis, nope.
Yeah, it is.
Semiramis, whatever, how you pronounce it.
Semiramis, I believe, is
Number
correct.
14.
Getting about the weather. There's so much information. Like, because I should actually be making you guys do content.
14, Semiramis Hotel. It's on the map.
Thank you. Semiramis. Okay. So, because you were at Shepherd's.
Right. But this was the other one that we had.
That's right.
Kind of reserved space at. And we still have our rooms at the other one, but at Shepherd's, but we're not making use of them.
Is Shepherd's on the map?
Yes. It's 3.
It is.
Okay. Oh, well, now you guys have this great River Nile view.
Oh, right. That's why we picked this one, right?
Yeah. So.
You know, I also have to ask this question. I mean no offense by it, but we were told that these black rites were to stop the sun god from rising every morning. Now, to someone like me, that sounds very problematic, and it makes it sound like eternal darkness and night is not as evil as the Black Pharaoh, granted, but still not very good. Is there like a continuum of evil within the pantheon?
I'm going to like sort of paraphrase a bit because Ra wasn't always so great either, and so all the gods warred with each other, and Ra became sort of the main god, and everybody was saying, but Ra, all of these pantheonic gods, they're problematic, and so this is like the gods were on a continue, like Zeus is the all father god, but he's actually like a rapist, murderer, kind of creepy asshole, and so it's a little similar to that. None of these gods are great. This one's sort of like the one that right now is, just to paraphrase, like and this would come out in the conversation. I'll say the conversation goes on longer, and as she explains, but she herself has no compunction with having Ra never rise again. Doesn't bother her because Ra does all kinds of other awful things, and Bast is the best. I love Bast. Team Bast. So she's not.
I understood I wasn't asking an unbiased source, but I was just kind of curious.
No, I mean she's and she's also not. I mean, just not trying to find converts or go, yes, Bast is the best. I said that, but like for her, you worship whoever you want. But yeah, and she goes, and the time of those things happening it's unlikely that Ra and Bast will fight again in the near term.
Well, that help. I'm glad you explained that, because when I first heard it, it made it sound a lot more nefarious than maybe it is.
It's not good. The book shouldn't be in other people's hands.
Well, exactly. Right.
We're not.
Exactly.
She's. We are a secretive group, and we're very small.
And you're actually alive right now? You're not like coming from a different time or place, or like, are you a real person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds really like a foolish question, but we've met a lot
I'd
of.
be surprised.
Yeah, we've met a lot, so.
No, it's a very insightful question, and it tells me much about you that you think to ask it. But yeah, she appears very much to be a 22-year-old young woman. A lot of age behind the eyes, so with her answers, you're not. I mean, I'm not going to make you do a psychology roll or anything, but she's not telling you the whole truth, and she won't unless you ask the specific right question, and she feels like she should tell you. But yeah. But she's very much alive. She's very present.
Okay.
You can, she's, when you ask her if she's real, she, like, puts her hand on Purdy's shoulder and, do I feel real? Kind of.
Yeah, I asked the question, but that's fine. Purdy Cole, does she feel real?
Here, feel this.
And so I'm going to say this conversation took a long time because there'll be explanations, etc., things that I summarized. This was.
We ate.
You ate, yeah. There was a full meal involved. So by the time that's over, I would say.
Cause she's done. She's licking her hands at this point after the meal.
And by the time the meal ends, because you guys went to Van Hoylen's apartment, had that entire confrontation, got here, sat down, she showed up, then you talked for a couple hours. I think it's very likely that right as she licks her hands, no, she doesn't. But she's going to get up to leave as Clyde and and Harmon walk in. She walks like a cat. She walks out, sort of like almost like
Tail up.
Yeah, tails up. But she's just, I don't know what that really looks like, but just got that sort of feline grace as she walks out. Like feet.
Probably it's like we're about to bump into each other, and then she just does a slight dodge out of the way
It just
and walks out the door.
What's that thing that cats are weirdly scared of? A cucumber or something?
Cucumbers.
I get a bunch of those and put them in the windows of our.
Why are cats afraid of cucumbers?
Wait, there's a whole
Yeah.
like YouTube series on this.
You set
I
a
don't know.
cucumber down and they'll like do this weird jump out of the way a lot of times. I don't know if they think it's something else. I've never done it to my cats, but
You should put a cucumber behind your computer so you stop pulling out the cords.
oh my gosh, no kidding, right?
That'd be funny if it worked.
There's a lot of YouTube videos on this phenomenon.
Huh. It's kind of like summoning.
There's also if you
combine the cat with cucumbers.
If you put a circle like a string or anything in the shape of a circle, they often feel the need to go sit in the middle of it. They're just weird animals.
Huh.
It's fun to mess with their little brains.
Huh.
Their little walnut-sized brains.
It says because it looks like snakes and cats don't like snakes.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's the best explanation I've ever heard. But a cucumber to me doesn't look like a snake.
No, but and they have good eyes too, right?
They're better at seeing movement than they are like things that are still. They have more
like a cucumber
rods than cone cells or whatever that is.
Okay.
They're terrible at seeing snakes.
All right. So
that's
Purdy
cat
acquires
knowledge
some
101.
cucumbers and but actually as she leaves, she walks out the door, she does that glide around Clyde and just walks out, and Clyde and Harmon can see the two of you sitting at the table, so having just finished dinner.
What the hell?
I'm sorry.
You didn't show up?
I know, but there was a reason.
We've been waiting. We thought we were meeting in the bar first and then going.
No.
So what was the whole point of the conversation about who goes with who?
See, the issue was as soon as you blokes left, I was really concerned about the number of cats.
Blokes? Did you just call me a bloke?
I don't know. I just don't want to say guys because that doesn't sound like 1920s lingo.
Lads? Gents?
Whatever.
Blokes
as soon as you and our other friends left, I worried about Van Hoylen and the exponentially increasing number of cats.
Wait, is Van Hoylen the guy who has like on his third marriage?
I didn't ask about his marriages.
Still should have.
A lot of cats following around.
I'd really rather not. It was more just what if they got violent? So we went to see how he was, and there were more cats, and we were able to convince him to give us most of the scrolls. He has a few pages, and the lady that just walked past you would like us to return all of the scrolls, leaving no copies behind. And I'm inclined to agree with her that these are things to be kept hidden from.
More importantly, the two of us have decided that we're going to get these scrolls back and complete, even if we have to, teach Mr. Catman that there are worse things than cats.
I thought that it would be nice to do it in a way that he might not even realize things were missing, but I know we have a lot of different options.
Well, I can't say that's the weirdest thing I've heard today.
How did it go? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Harmon's preoccupied. Harmon has to go to the bathroom. He goes to the public restroom, and so he's not part of this conversation. There we go.
Oh boy, where to start? Well, we met. Oh, we'll probably do this in our room later. But it went stranger than I thought it would.
So we have to go back to that pyramid tomorrow. I'm sorry if you had
Excuse me?
plans. Yeah, it'll be real fast though. We don't go in the tunnels. We just go. Not
Wherever
quite
you-
sure, but apparently it's
Is
not
it-
nearly as bad.
Isn't it
But-
cordoned off by police?
Well, this time we have a god on our side, so I think
she's
we'll
a
be fine.
priestess. She's a priestess working on behalf of the god.
Yeah, but I'm pretty
got,
good at
Jesus
that.
of Nazareth? What are you talking about?
I didn't say Jesus. I said priestess.
No. You're missing the point. Who?
So, Clyde, you really need to keep up. I'm starting not to be the stupid one in this group.
Well, from my standpoint, you told me you broke into some man's house, stole his papers, and the woman said the papers
That's
were
what we're
hers.
going to do. We convinced him
That's what
to
we're
give
going
us
to
the papers.
And you call me a bloke.
We are escalating towards a solution rather than, just
Right.
running someone over with a car.
We went over to be helpful and stop the cat attack. Well, the cat, I don't know, invasion. And then we were able to convince him to give us most of the scrolls. So it was a very civil conversation. But now he doesn't want to give up his magnus opus or whatever the phrase is. And
Magnum opus.
that's it. That sounds much more accurate. But so we're going to either have to find a way to get the missing papers, and he was very tired. He was out like a light. So maybe getting this while he's sleeping would be a possibility.
As you
Or-
say that, Clyde's just like,
Yeah.
Like doing that head nod of, they're gonna make me do it, aren't they?
Or we did arrange to
Make
meet
Carmen
with
do
him tomorrow. Okay,
He is,
here's the
he
thing.
is planning to give us
Yes.
the originals back.
Yes.
Yes.
And in fact, take us to the pyramid.
So
the only
all-
thing that. Oh, go ahead, please.
Go- no,
Sorry.
no,
No, please.
just if it wouldn't even have to be breaking in to steal something, it just would be breaking in to change something. Like on his documents, on his copies, if you change enough letters, then it's no longer a copy and it wouldn't be effective. So break in, change letters,
Yeah,
leave,
sure.
and then tomorrow he'll give us the originals. And Bob's your uncle.
There you go.
Good. All right. Couple of questions how this is going to go down. What I'm hearing. So you two will take the original parchments to the pyramid to return them to the rightful place. And in the meanwhile, I break into his house, find where he keeps his book of the transcribed scrolls, and rewrite a word.
Lots of words, probably more than one. But
What
he's-
does he speak?
no, he's going to come tomorrow with the copies or with the originals and give us the missing pages. So we can't take the scrolls yet because we need what he's going to give us tomorrow. I just thought it would be easier to get in there and change things tonight because he'll be sleeping.
Sure, he wrote it all in English, right? Because he sounds like he speaks a little funky.
Well, he's Dutch, I believe, but I think so it's Dutch.
We're working for the expedition, so who's there? They speak in English, right? Like it's all English people.
Yeah, but-
As far as you know at this point, yeah.
I don't know if he's copying what is on the scrolls themselves or if he's translating.
He would
At
have
the
told
same
you.
time.
He would have told you that he is doing both.
Okay.
So and Neris would have said she does not really care if the translations get away.
Okay.
Because there's not a chance in hell that the translations will work as a spell.
She just wants the transcribed
She
stuff.
wants the yep.
That's why she made the comment about me trying to destroy. I wondered about. Okay,
Yeah.
so me trying to destroy a copy would be difficult.
Right.
Translations would probably be easy.
But altering the thing would, potentially work. She wasn't sure, actually. I didn't say that, but either way, get them
And the originals
or
were
alter
in-
them.
The originals were in like hieroglyphic.
They were, yeah, they're well, yeah, they're in a cross of hieroglyphic and Coptic, but yeah.
All you're telling me is I have to go into his book where he has written the copy and put a bird where the cow should be,
Yes,
and a
just add
snake where the T would be,
The
and then we're
The
good.
good news is you have all evening talking to Harmon in the toilet to learn how to make these little figures. He's going to be there a long time. And he can't sleep in there, so...
Or you could just do something where it doesn't have to make sense. Like, I doubt he's going to go and reread everything all over again, you know? It's more like you could look at a piece later on in the scroll and put it up there, so it's the same symbol, just in the wrong place.
Write the Ankh symbol a bunch of times. Sometimes left, sometimes right, sometimes up, sometimes down. Like
A,
up, down,
B, A,
up,
B,
down, left,
up,
right,
down,
left,
yeah.
right.
Walking like the Egyptian symbol also works.
Yeah.
All right, so draw a bunch of random figures into a book that's full of random figures. Great. This isn't going to be confusing in any capacity. I
Well,
got
the good news
this.
is it doesn't have to make sense. Your job is to make it illegible and worthless. That's easy, right?
Wouldn't it be better if I just bought a bottle of ink and just dumped all over it?
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't
but
want to complicate
then
this.
he won't want to give up the original. That's the thing. The only way we were able to convince him to give us the original is he thinks he's going to have a copy. So
And we're actually trying to help him out here. So I'm pretty sure that, let's say we put the originals back. He comes home, finds his copy smeared with ink. He's going to want to go back. I'm pretty sure that's going to kill him.
So if he thinks he has what he needs and wants, he won't feel the need to go and put himself in danger again.
Right.
Genius, right? Come on.
So you still got that 14th.
It is really genius. That's not a solution that's in the book, and it is better than anything that's in the book.
I don't know
that you'll be able to pull it off, but I
all right.
it is genius.
So
sorry, I'm metagaming. I'm sorry. I should have done that.
He had a lot of books of hieroglyphics in there, so you're just gonna have to change them all.
You didn't have.
You don't know which one's which, so you're just gonna have to.
You didn't even have a look at the book.
Did we see the book? I don't think we saw the book. I mean, it was a scroll.
It was a scroll.
Well,
so I'm messing.
The scroll's the original. You assume he's copying it into some sort of modern Western media, because he's not gonna be able to,
a lot.
He's not trying to actually. He does not think they're real.
Just do a lot of wrist exercises tonight. Get that.
Yeah, and you just have to look at the scroll, look at what, if there's more than one book, just find, like it starts with the same bird or the same crocodile or whatever, you'll be fine.
It almost seems like Harmon would be perfect for this. Good thing he has nothing to do tomorrow. Or does he?
All right. Follow-up question.
Yeah, you guys don't know that Harmon's got shit to do tomorrow.
In the event I'd go there, and the book's not there, and he has it. What then?
We'll take care of that, don't worry.
You will take care of
what
it.
I'm suggesting is you go there tonight while he is there sleeping.
Okay.
So he can't, because if we go tomorrow and he brings us the original and he's got his book on him, that would make it a lot more difficult. I don't know if
I would agree.
Bit behind. So that's why my suggestion is we do this tonight while he's, in exhausted sleep from being chased by cats forever. If you do get there,
by the way, cats are now your friend.
Cats are now my friend.
Yeah, they're on your side. They know what we're up to.
Okay.
We had a good talk with all those cats. That really helped.
Another question.
Birdie to the rescue every time.
How far away does he live?
I mean, it's just,
hop, skip, and a jump over.
Hop, skip, and a jump down the street. Because I think he wasn't that far
from the pyramid, and then,
Turn right at the pyramid.
Cairo, I don't know. He's at a bed sit.
That's where he is.
Okay, well, we have a location now, so that helps.
We know where he is.
Good
I don't
neighborhood.
remember his
I
address.
don't
Oh,
think I
no.
named it. I don't think I named the location.
He's not far. That's all I remember. He's not far
He's
from the
not
hotel.
far. You were able to, because he's not far from your old hotel.
And the walls are pretty much just cloth, so all you have to do is go boop, and you're inside. It wasn't. I mean, it was.
All
He's
right.
doing the best he can.
So
Do you want a backup plan if he wakes, like if he's awake and doing work when you get there? Do you want us to have a distraction? Like we could have a diversion plan in place.
Charm him. You're there.
You want me to
because
charm a man
behavior.
whose house I'm going to be breaking into to.
I would just charm.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Maybe you can charm. Like that could be our diversion plan, right? So if
We're all going back.
Well, what I'm saying
No, I
is,
just was
maybe
going to
we
send Clyde. Okay.
shouldn't send just Clyde, because what if Clyde gets there and Van Hoylen is working on the papers? So then
Or alcohol
we need a
for the
distraction.
ticket.
And you know, you're very distracting, so you could be a good diversion. We could.
Would it be more advantageous if I wait later in the night to ensure he's not awake?
We're pretty sure he's passed out.
Right, and if you wait
Well, that
until
helps.
later, he might wake up and then
This
be like,
is-
"Oh, I better get to work."
This is the first time he hasn't had a cat around him in a while.
I mean, I could give you something to inject him with to make sure he stays asleep.
I mean, that would be helpful.
Wait, what?
I
I've
suddenly
been
am like,
killing all these
okay,
guys?
not great about that
And
whole
you just
thing with the summoning and binding cats.
Well, you know what? Like
Well, you have the means to do that. That's great.
I might in my first aid kit. I had some bottles of heroin.
You did. I don't know if they've been with you for 5 years or
No,
not
I
traveling
know.
internationally. But
I think I actually used them at one point too.
you did use one of them.
I'm trying to see what I have. If
Need
there's
morphine?
Like morphine and opiates,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's normal. Like that's
I mean, I do carry a first aid kit around. I don't have specifically what I've stocked it with, so
Well,
you know.
let's look and see if like laudanum is in a 1925 first aid kit. That'll be fun.
I do think Daisy would, you know, having had the heroin in the past and how it was useful, I think she'd be more inclined to have something in her first aid kit that would be asleep.
All right. So we have a place, we have a location, we have what we're looking for. And hypothetically, let's say I don't know enough on how to properly mislabel, because this man is a very educated individual. And you still got that 14th dynasty or whatever pot you bought for us, Najar?
Oh, yes, pottery from Najar's shop. I absolutely have that in my gear.
You said that had like the symbols on it, right?
Because I have 3 of them. It turns out they came in triples. And
Yes, I do.
no-
It does have symbols, but honestly, Clyde, all you have to do is look at symbols. Like it's like, okay, so you're reading something in English, and it says
Yes.
something like the cat jumped over the dog. You take
Yes.
the word dog and you put it up here, and it says the cat dog jumped over the dog, and now it means something completely nonsense, right? So you don't have to know what the words are. You can just move symbols around. So
Or
you'll have symbols to refer to.
just every now and then draw a picture of a cat. It's like paper from the cat god. No one's going to question why there's more cats on the page.
I mean, you're welcome to look at the pottery to see if it can inspire you and give you some ideas, but
I think you're overthinking this. I think you you slept in a Holiday Inn last night. You'll be fine.
Well,
Is this what you want to do? Sure.
Oh
do
yeah,
you-
we're
do you
doing
want,
I mean,
do you
I'm
want a backup plan in case he's awake, or are you comfortable just taking the I don't know what I
I'll
have.
go with you. I can charm my way into that man's heart.
be really unfortunate if you left your wallet underneath his bed.
Sorry.
Be really unfortunate if you left your wallet underneath his bed.
Was not on that guy's bed at any time that my wallet.
You dropped it.
We were all on his bed. He was reaching into the ceiling where the scrolls were. Weren't we all on the bed?
Yeah, I think it was.
Why would we all be on the bed?
Because we had standing on it to reach into the ceiling where the scrolls
Right,
were.
but only he had to stand on it. I wondered why he got up on it.
Purdy.
Because the cats were swarming. I feel like we were all standing on the bed.
This is your alibi. This is why you're there at whatever time of the hour it is right now.
Alibi is love. It's always love.
You're there because you love Van Hoylen. Okay, sure.
But love.
All right. So
after these next two rounds of shots, I say we go.
I would imagine I have a tincture of laudanum. I'm reading through it on Wikipedia.
I'm reading it too.
Yeah,
it became
seems like that.
difficult to get in 1914, but for you, you'd be able to get it. And then in 1970, it went on Schedule 2. So I think you'd be able to get it. Yep. All right. So you can have you have laudanum in your kit.
All right. So this can be a backup as well, if he needs to be kind of put back to sleep.
Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not a medical professional. Is this an injection thing, or do I just force it down his throat? I mean, I know basics of first aid, but
yeah, it looked like a tincture would be probably the most normal way. From what I was quickly reading.
Yeah, like a spoonful of.
Or like eyedroppers or something.
Well,
I always see it as eyedroppers in movies and stuff where people are just using the drops.
Well, while all of this is going on, I buy a whole bottle of whiskey from the bar.
Okay.
That's what I want to. Or any cheap alcohol.
No problem doing that. So now there's a bottle of booze at the table.
Molotov cocktail.
Oh.
What can we just try to solve something without fire for a change, really?
all right. So you said he passed out immediately when you left, so the door should still be unlocked. So that's our way in.
I'm not sure the door has a lock.
Okay, then that's even better for me.
It's.
No, he does not have a lock.
He had a lot of cats to protect him.
He had a lot of cats. All right.
He's in the upstairs room over a person's business. He's paying rent. It's basically just like a bed, and then he is working for the guy in order to, because he doesn't have any money, and any money he gets he spends on booze. But he's basically running errands for the shopkeeper.
All right. Go in, find his book, make a different bird for a different snake or something, and then we're all good. And we'll walk right out.
Okay.
Easy. What could go wrong?
I don't know. Let's find out. So, are you guys gonna leave Harmon pooping in the bathroom?
I mean, it does seem like he's having some trouble in there, so I think that's his own business, and none of us want to be concerned with it.
Okay.
I would be comfortable leaving Harmon as long as, like, our policy is always to have partners, right?
That's
but Ed's not here.
Right.
So we can have Harmon come along and do nothing, or we can just leave him behind so we don't have to keep track of him. But I would really not want to leave him behind and then be like, oh, and he was kidnapped because you guys didn't leave a partner, you know?
Yeah. No, we're not metagaming. I'll just say no
well,
harm.
I'm metagaming.
No,
I'm saying I'll leave him behind if he's not going to
no
have
harm will
bad
befall other than toilet harm will occur to Harmon.
He's very dehydrated.
He's going to be really dehydrated in the morning.
Okay.
But the three of you can go there, and I will promise as the keeper nothing bad happens to Harmon being left
Which
alone.
is, I know, a silly thing, but otherwise I'm like, well, I don't know how to leave him alone.
I get it.
I totally would kidnap Harmon at that moment.
So, well, Purdy can kidnap Harmon, but...
I mean, meet Corey as GM.
I don't trust anybody anymore.
You didn't show up to the game, you're kidnapped.
Yeah.
We have the pooper kidnappers. They just hit people who are in the pooper.
They
All
crawl up and below.
Oh no. Who does number 2 work for? Alright. So, you guys head back to the bed sit. No trouble to find. You remember how to get there. You do have to go back into like Midtown here. I'm pretty sure it's not called Midtown, but the center of town here, city center. And you find again. Now the shop is closed. It is, late evening at this point. Um, Getting into, nothing's really open. You're standing outside the shopkeepers. There is there's a door that is shut, so not completely accurate. But once you get inside there, the walkway up, um, there's no door into his bedroom.
I think Purdy would probably walk up first.
Okay. Just gonna try the door.
Yeah.
The door is locked, but it's a simple lock. It's basically a wood frame door with a little, just a tiny bolt lock in it.
Can I? So before doing anything, can we hear like snoring?
Make a listen check. I will be looking for a hard success because he's upstairs behind the door.
I'll help listen. Let's all just get real quiet.
Sure, let's all buddy up on the door. Why not?
Get a glass out.
Oh, wait, something changed.
What the hell? 429.
I am very colorblind, but I'm pretty sure in the on the bubble at the top, if you're not in the chat window or in the chat tab, I'm pretty sure it shows you the color of success of the roll on the I don't know how to explain this. You have the tab icons at the top of the chat.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in chat when you roll, it will show you the color of the roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just happened. So if you flip out of it, I'll roll something.
Wait,
Okay.
How do I do that? I want to see what.
Just flip to
Just
like
pick a different
character sheet.
tab, right?
Just
Yeah, instead of the chat messages, flip to actors or
okay.
item.
Okay.
And then I'm pretty sure it turned red because I rolled a failure. Which before it never did this, and you had to flip over to figure out what you just rolled.
I think that's the bright orange exclamation point that there's something that occurred in the chat.
Is it orange and not red?
It is orange, and nobody's succeeded at anything. We're all failing. Look at that. That's ridiculous.
Orange, not red? That's not the same color as
It's not, but it's super, super close, Corey. I don't think that is like.
Use it to make
okay, that was a success.
I'm not actually.
Orange.
It's very, very close. The red that's the failure typing is actually a very common computer red. It's tomato red, and then the other one is like a slightly off of that towards orange.
Right.
And it doesn't go green when there's a success. It's still orange. So,
okay.
But that, oh man, that would have been cool.
The fact that there's something there is new. I'm almost positive, because I always roll from the other tab, and I've never seen it pop up.
Huh. I have.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I really don't remember ever seeing it.
Okay. Well, there is a lot of new cool stuff, by the way.
So I'm always in that tab.
I was also going to tell you guys, if you go to the journal tab, do you see one, Call of Cthulhu 7th edition unofficial English?
No.
Okay.
No.
London items and New York items.
Okay, when you shared it, I see it.
Okay. This has how to use everything on the character sheets here. They've made this
Oh.
nice, really cool, very easy to navigate through how to use everything in the system. So I just actually imported this morning. So
thank you.
But if you're interested in any of that stuff, it's in here. There's a lot we don't need, but how to do a chase is in here, which is really cool. So if we ever have another one that Dawson doesn't automatically win. We will. He's not the fastest thing in the world. So
pretty darn close.
All right. So
the listen checks for all failures.
Okay, you don't hear any snoring or anything like that. No, you also don't hear anybody in the shop or anything else. You do hear a slow, infrequent amount of traffic from you're on a side street from maybe a main arterial a little bit off, but there's not a lot. It's pretty quiet out. You don't hear cats. Meow meow meow. Meow.
But the door is locked, you said.
It's locked, but it looks, I mean, Purdy, I'm just going to say Purdy eyeballs it and goes, he would have absolutely no problem yanking that door open. They would break the lock, but he would have no problem going through and pulling that door.
Do you think you can
open.
Try to pick it first so we don't have to...
Well, all I did in London was basic simple locks. So how could this be any different? Do you think we have different manufacturers here in Egypt? I mean, they're both controlled by England at one point. It should be fine.
I'm pretty sure it's just a flimsy piece of plywood that's, sort of deadbolt. You just have to flick the thing up. If you get but I'm not so sure.
It's a lot of things you think you know about when you've never done it before, isn't it, Purdy? I mean, we'll possibly happen. I'll attempt to pick the lock.
I can just pull the door open. But
well, then that would be the purpose of subtlety, Purdy.
Exactly. We're trying to leave no trace.
Maybe
you can have a bonus die on the roll, by the way, and you just need a regular success. This really is a simple lock. Oh no! Well, you only have a 10, so that was going to be rough either way. Was that with the bonus die?
Yep, it's in there.
Okay.
Last one was a 74.
Let me do it. I'll just pull it open.
No! No! Subtlety! We can't just break into a business.
Do you want to try pushing that?
No, because that would be stupid. I have 10.
They have, oh my god, they have all of this, in here. Did you see that? You can push.
The thing you just...
I just opened it up. In the dice roll, if you...
Oh, yeah.
It has push, spend 47 luck to pass, increase your success by spending 52 luck. That's great. It's right in there. That's nice. Okay.
Yeah, I think
you said that there was a fire escape, right?
Yeah, there is a fire escape in the back.
Why don't we just try to use that?
I think that would be better than breaking the door down. I mean, we really want to make it seem like
the access point to that was a window, so that's where the cat jumped in from the fire escape onto the window. I believe I said that. If I didn't, it was something I had meant to say.
Well, let's give that a go.
All right, you guys go out behind the back. There's nobody in the alleyway. You climb up the back staircase, and the window is open. He's letting a little breeze come in. You can see him. He's passed out. Just sort of, I'm taking up the entire bed spread out. And a light snoring. Right above his head is the tile that you two know can be slid over to open where he was keeping the manuscript.
If I remember correctly, not the translations, but the copied versions are not in that tile. They're somewhere else.
Correct.
They're on his You said it was his desk?
Very likely.
You ever somewhere over there?
Very likely, yeah.
So, I have a new idea.
Oh no. What?
Well, so I brought this bottle of alcohol. What if I just get him real drunk and ask him, you guys wait out here. I just go in there and say, hey, I know a man who needs a drink. And I get him real drunk. I get him passed out. And then you have a lot more time. But probably while I'm talking to him, I can be like, hey, show me these crazy writings.
2 issues. 1, the door's locked. That was just the end of the front door. Because it's a storefront. Stairs up, then his place. If I remember correctly, is that correct?
Yeah.
So, but we can see him in the window. So I could be knocking on the window.
That's the second problem. We are in his window. We're like, hey neighbor, how's it going? I think your fire escape.
Yeah.
Right. Like what I'm saying is that you guys duck out of view. I knock on the window and say, hey, you need a drink. We drink. I try to get any information out of him, but then basically the idea is so he passes out, like for good. But I also maybe know where everything is. Right now, if he wakes up, we're gonna have to explain, and I'll probably use the same story. Like, oh, we came in to, to drink with you because you finally got rid of all the cats. You guys look so distrusting.
Well, he's already asleep. And I just feel like waking him up and making him suspicious, or even just trying to wake him up at all. I don't know.
All right. I'm gonna keep this handy though, in case.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea if he were awake, but if he's already asleep, to wake him up just to get him to sleep again.
You have never been friends with heavy drinkers.
I don't know.
I will stand by to make sure if he wakes up that I am ready to booze him up to get him back to sleep as quickly as possible.
Go to sleep.
Rather than the medicine. Like that's what he's not gonna forget being injected with something if he wakes up.
No, it's not an injection. It's just a tincture.
It's
but
drops.
Yeah.
Mouth, yeah.
No, and I agree. Like it was more because that would have to work very similarly to like putting it in a drink and getting him to pass out. That was if he was awake. It was kind of a backup plan in case he was awake. I don't know, Clyde. You're the one going in. Do you feel comfortable going in while he's normal sleeping, or do you want Purdy to get him to pass out drunk?
It wouldn't be the first time.
That doesn't really answer what.
I'll be fine.
All
right.
I'll call to the window.
All right.
Are there any cats within sight?
No.
No cats.
Well, actually, hold on a second. I need to ask a question.
I have the documents on me.
Okay. Yeah, there's a cat down, but it is watching. It is not following you guys. There's one cat watching from the back alley.
Watching us or just watching around?
Watching you. You. That it does not care about Clyde. Like if you duck behind Clyde, it moves to watch you. It's just watching you.
I do that cat walking thing.
Okay.
It knows I'm still in the same place. I haven't walked downstairs.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just watching you. I actually don't know how smart cats are, but.
We've learned walnut-sized brain.
Walnut-sized brain that was new information to me. Actually,
it depends on the cat, though. Like they can be, some can be like learn a lot of tricks and learn things. Others are dumb.
Others are dumb. So, give me that stealth check, Clyde. Climbing through the window. Beautiful. Not a sound. He creeps in. Which I imagine he probably, to get that stealth check though, might have to leave his firearm with one of you guys if he's still.
I didn't. I
walking around with
didn't.
it.
I
Okay.
didn't even bring it
Okay, good. Okay.
because I knew some guy walking around at like 9:30 at night
With a rifle.
dressed with a rifle, only asking for trouble.
Right. Okay. So you crawl through the window quietly. Like I said, he's starfishing the whole bed, mouth wide open, um, snoring lightly. Are you looking around? Are you looking at the?
I was told there was a desk. I'm gonna look for the desk.
Okay, there is a ramshackle desk. It's different than a bivouac. It is just like it's cobbled together. It's not even really a desk. It's a piece of street trash, wood put onto like two baskets to make a place for him to write on. He doesn't have the money to get a place with a desk. He came with a bed and a roof. That's what he gets. So he built this thing out of stuff he found in the trash. And on it, you see a well-worn journal. It has one of those sort of Class B locks on it. Like one of those, my journal. Tiny.
The key is around his. It's a heart-shaped key around his neck.
Yeah, it is. No, but it does require a little bit of work on that front.
I'll look at it. I'll pick it up. I'll pretty much hold it out the window and pretty much gesture. Is this the book? Great answer.
They never
I
saw
don't know.
it. They never saw
We
They
it.
never
did
seen
see
it. They never seen it. All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know that man.
While that's happening, I'll look around and see if there's any other journals, any other books, satchels that he may have that may contain books.
No, you don't see. I'm not going to even make you roll a look. What you find are alcohol bottles, food wrappers, and garbage. It stinks a little bit in here too, because cats have been in here and didn't have a litter box. And some of these cats did not like him.
And that is something that cats will do if they don't like you.
Just poop on you.
They will pee on your stuff.
Yep.
Knock over your liquor bottles.
Yep. So,
all right. So the class
this
itself.
is the only book you find. He's got. You find like a back, not like a satchel bag, like a document satchel, near the bed as well. You spy that. He has a couple of shirts hanging up on hooks, a couple of pairs of pants. I mean, he did come here with an expedition. He got fired and not sent back home, so he's stranded here in Cairo, and his belongings are just starting to show all the wear of, a man who has very little prospects for getting home.
I guess I'll open up the journal if I can.
All right, it's locked.
I guess we'll
could break the clasp if you want, but
nope, not doing that.
All right.
We'll see if my locksmithing tools can help me break into someone's little diary.
Go ahead. If a crit fail will mean you break the lock.
Son of a bitch! That guy didn't tell me. That guy didn't tell me anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna need to find the key.
Ah, shit. All right, where to start? Well, let's start with the easiest part. Let's check his satchel bag. He probably's got a key in one of those pockets, right? What's he be wearing around his neck on a little heart-shaped necklace? Is this my journal?
Taking a quick look at him, it doesn't appear that he's wearing it on a necklace. He doesn't appear to have any jewelry. I'm gonna keep the stealth check in place for now. You go through the satchel. Give me a spot hidden. Okay. You find sort of it's not really a secret so much as just sewn in, like there's a seam that's been sort of torn open, and he's made a little pocket in one of the leather seams, and you find a tiny key in there.
Can I, while this is going on?
Yeah.
Neris, was that her name?
Yes.
Mentioned he had put up a ward. Is there any visible sign of the ward that he put up?
Let's make a spot hidden check.
All right, one thing going over there.
Oh, geez.
You're blind. I actually. How do you fumble a spot hidden? I don't know how to actually
walk into
that.
the wall.
Because you're not considered a professional at it. I think it's because the fumble rate's so much lower.
Daisy just poked me in the eye.
I'm sorry.
Are you sure it was Daisy or was it the cat?
It was a cat. Yeah, now the cat's laying on your shoulder. What are you doing?
Cat sprayed me.
No, the cat actually is just watching. You are not suspects. You are being watched. That's all. You're not being harassed. So the key does fit in the journal. All right. You see that that there is a the little bookmarky thing.
Yep.
And it's splitting the book in two. The first part of this book is like, it starts off with, if you read through it quickly, it's well, you can't really. The first part's in Dutch. But as you flip,
that's probably not it.
If you flip past that a little bit, that looks like it has dates on the top, and like it maybe this is like his journal at that point. Then it switches to English. And
it switches to English?
Yes. And now you're seeing a translation of, this is the book of, I can't remember the name of it, but the Black Rites. And he will continue to or he basically is, it's a fairly, I don't know, how would you know? Yeah, it just talks about what these spells are, talks about the components, how what time of day certain things have to be cooked or prepared, because this is not like D&D. Like, most spells actually require like a day to do, and disrupting a spell is very much a thing. There's a couple that you can have ready to go and just enact, but for the most part, a spell's like, I begin the rite at noon. So it's a little bit more sword and sorcery type feel here, where there's not like a casting time of one action, so there's this begin this time, begin that. So you realize the first part, after we get through his beginning, probably day-to-day journaling of what happened to him in Dutch, you get to this English translation. On the other side, you have his transcription of hieroglyphics, and other, what you assume to be Coptic language.
All right. Now for the most difficult part of the entire journey. I gotta draw pictures.
Yep. I think we'll just go with... I'm just gonna give you a skill check, because it's not like you're just looking at letters and trying to copy them.
I don't want to be that guy, but here's a skill that's looking around the face, is forgery.
I know, and I was thinking about forgery, but what's your forgery skill? Like a 2?
Non-existent. It's 5.
Right. So my argument would be a forgery is to make something look authentic. This is actually just to mess it up. It doesn't have to actually make sense or anything. It's just...
The plan, as I heard you guys talk about, was just throwing in a couple extra letters subtly so that he doesn't notice right away that it's been jacked up. So, I would say forgery's not what I think it should be. I'm gonna just go with a dexterity roll because I don't think this should be that hard. You're just copying a picture and trying to make it look the same size. So just gonna use dexterity.
All right, first we start with the bird. The bird is not facing left, he's facing right. And that means something completely different. Maybe. Holy shit.
My God.
You want to push it?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. If you fail, you do leave a giant ink blob on it, and he'll know. All right. Because at this point, he's gonna know anyway.
Okay.
Look at that!
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Well, you actually are looking at it. You were trying to do the bird backwards, but then something wasn't working right, and then you looked at it and saw, oh, but there's this one that looks a lot like that, and you just alter it to look a little bit more like man facing forward. And so then you do about 8 of these throughout and feel like, okay, I've probably jacked this up enough. Then you have to get the scrolls out from over his head on the bed. No.
No, he doesn't. We're
That
gonna
wasn't
get
the mission because we're getting those the next
Okay,
day.
that's right. All right. Okay. So I forgot. Yeah, that makes much more sense. Okay. So you go and put the diary back where it was. You put the key back where it was. I need one more stealth check for your way out the door or the window.
To the wall. Where's my stealth? There it is. Bam.
Not as graceful as your way in, but a little nervy after the whole thing with the book and having to draw stuff. But just barely get that foot over the window, scraping it just a little bit. He sort of... and you walk away. And I think this is probably the best place for us to just call it a night, right? Like, because then we can pick it up next time in the morning with Holly, or he's
by where we are means we get back to the hotel.
Back to the hotel successfully. Yep. And then you'll be able to pick up with Harmon. He'll just be slightly dehydrated, and you guys can start right fresh with the next morning getting the transcript or the original scroll from, and you guys can decide how you want to take it back to the Pyramid of Mycerinus.
It'll be our last of 2020, of 2022.
It will be our last game of 2022.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
It will be.
There'll be a lot of.
There will be a
manslaughter in this one.
Lot of stuff going on in this one.
Sounds like it could be an exciting one. We actually have we know what we're doing in a way, like, oh, we're not just going to be wandering and trying to get information.
We have a clear objective now. It's great.
That's it. Thank you, Dawson. Clear objective.
It's
there
nice.
You go.
It's nice when you have a clear objective. So you guys have a mission to return these scrolls to the Shrine of Bast in the Pyramid of Mycerinus. You do know that the police are watching it. You will have to, from Neris, find out where it is. Van Hoylen.
How roughly to get where to
get. Or Van Hoylen might tell you as he returns them because he knows that's what your intent is to return them.
Isn't he coming with us?
Yeah, well, that was what you and I had talked to him about to get the scroll.
We were all going to go. No, he can back out. But
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
He's under my belief was that we had convinced him to go with you.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could bring them both. I'm sure they'll get along splendidly.
So this is fun because if you guys successfully get these into the and meet all the criteria, which I'm not going to tell you what the criteria are, but if you get the scrolls back in, you'll have completed a side quest, which gives you a sanity reward.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Some of us are pretty sane, thank you.
Some of us are not.
I think me and Daisy are in the roughest situation right now.
Genius and insanity are so close. That's how I get my ideas. Because
I definitely have a question for when we're off camera, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think, yep, we were going to play a little bit of a shorter one tonight, being a person down. Ooh. Call of Cthulhu is rough to play with a person down because it is so RP heavy and dependent on interactions between the players, and so having God, Cameron, get it back together. Whatever.
Reporting live from the earthquake.
It's a hurricane out here. Why am I standing in a hurricane? There's absolutely no reason for there to be a live remote for this. Okay. But it is a game that it can become really difficult if somebody is missing. So we will pick it back up with this. I think we're heading right into an exciting. This will be a big one. So prepare for a real fun one on our next session of Mass of Nyarlathotep. Happening on the stream this week, we have the Warbler Brothers tomorrow night. The Warbler Brothers are going to go and make sure the crab cakes flow. The crab cakes are no longer coming from the Gripply folk. The Gripply folk have been taken over by a cult of Yuan Ti. We need to make sure that the people get the crab cakes. That's the story. Actually, this is really out of Candlekeep Mysteries. This is we got hired to make sure that people can get crab cakes. I love it. It's so absurd. On Wednesday, I don't think we'll be doing a building the Vishla this week. And then on Saturday, we don't have a stream because we have a table game. And so we will be back next Sunday with Against the Giants. So until then, thanks for playing, everybody, tonight. And roll some dice, play some games, give of your time or treasure to meaningful causes. Have a good one, y'all.